She danced. She smiled. She lip-synced to trending audio clips like thousands of other teenagers. Her videos blended into the endless scroll of content that fills our screens daily, brief, polished moments of adolescent expression. But what none of her viewers could have known was that just beyond the frame, hidden in the shadows of her seemingly normal suburban home, tragedy had already struck. Just hours before those cheerful TikToks were posted, a brutal act had taken place. A young life had been taken in cold blood, and the killer was not a stranger lurking in the dark. She was the girl behind the screen. 14 years old. Innocent to the eye, but concealing something horrific. This is a story that forces us to confront a terrifying question. In a world where our every move can be recorded, shared, and dissected by millions, how could such darkness remain hidden in plain sight? What happens when social media masks not only our feelings but our crimes? Tonight, we unravel the twisted, tragic tale of Claire Miller, better known now as the TikTok killer. A case where digital breadcrumbs, buried in filters and 15-second videos, helped expose a chilling truth that stunned a nation. On February 22, 2021, 14-year-old Claire Miller called 911 just after 1 a.m. The voice on the line was calm, almost detached. She told the dispatcher she had killed her sister. When police arrived at the Miller household in the quiet suburb of Manheim Township, what they found stunned even seasoned officers. Helen Miller, Claire's 19-year-old sister with cerebral palsy, was found in bed with a fatal stab wound to her neck. A blood-stained pillow was pulled over her face, as if to silence her permanently. But here's where things get even darker. Hours before that 911 call, Claire had been posting TikToks, videos showing her singing, joking, and lip-syncing to trending sounds. She seemed like any other teenager. But that illusion would shatter within hours. Welcome to the Crime Keeper, a space where shadows are cast aside, and the most unsettling corners of human behavior are examined with precision. In this series, we don't just recount crimes. We dissect them. We analyze motives, explore psychological depths, and follow the breadcrumbs of evidence that investigators and forensic psychologists use to solve the unimaginable. And tonight, we explore a case that couldn't belong to any other era. It's not just horrifying, it's digital, viral, and disturbingly current. It's a story rooted not in back alleys or distant woods, but in the glowing rectangles we carry in our pockets every day. A story where TikTok, the world's fastest-growing social media platform, played an unintentional role in peeling back the mask of a murderer. This is not urban legend or sensationalized fiction. This is a true account from a quiet town in Pennsylvania. A tale that begins with a teenage girl, Claire Miller, who shared videos that were funny, relatable, even charming to some. But beneath those quick edits and catchy soundtracks lay a sinister truth that no one could have predicted. She had committed an unthinkable crime. How could someone so young carry out something so brutal? How could those closest to her, or even the millions scrolling past her content, not see it coming? And how did TikTok, an app designed for entertainment and expression, become the stage where cracks in her reality began to show? This is more than a crime story. This is a case study in the digital age, a chilling reminder that not everything that trends is harmless. This is the real-life unraveling of the TikTok killer. As the news of the killing spread, investigators didn't just look at fingerprints or blood spatter, they opened browsers. They tapped into the very tool that connected Claire Miller to the world, her TikTok account. What they found would become one of the most unsettling components of the investigation. At first glance, her page was unremarkable. Standard teenage content, lip syncs, trending challenges, sarcastic jokes. There were no visible outbursts, no angry rants, no digital red flags waving in plain sight. But the surface was just that, a digital mask, carefully crafted to look like everyone else's. Then came the deep dive. Forensic analysts, cyber detectives, and even online amateur sleuths, true crime communities with sharp eyes and sharper instincts, began peeling back the layers. Frame by frame, caption by caption. They weren't looking for a smoking gun, they were looking for a pattern. And slowly, disturbingly, one emerged. There were subtle hints of obsession with violent and macabre themes, dark music overlays, cryptic captions, emotionally numb jokes about death. Comments that didn't scream danger, but whispered instability. Mentions, some brief, some veiled, of mental health struggles. Not enough to alarm a casual viewer, but for those trained to see through digital veneers, it was there. Psychologists would later describe Claire's behavior as evidence of deep internal chaos, psychotic thinking, emotional disassociation, a detachment from reality that had likely been brewing long before the tragedy. But online, she was just another teenager performing for the algorithm, curating a version of herself that hid the real story. TikTok didn't cause the crime, but it became the unexpected mirror, reflecting fragments of a fractured mind. It wasn't the weapon, it was the stage she unknowingly used to hint at her unraveling. And those videos, chilling in hindsight, posted mere hours before the act, would later help experts piece together her mental state, and the terrifying disconnect between who she appeared to be, and what she was capable of. What could possibly drive a 14-year-old girl to commit such an unspeakable act against her own sister? That's the question that gripped not only the community of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, but the entire nation. The answers, as revealed by investigators, mental health professionals, and courtroom testimony, are as complex as they are haunting. Experts reviewing the case didn't see a cold-blooded killer. They saw a textbook tragedy, one shaped by untreated psychosis and a mind unraveling beneath the surface. Claire Miller wasn't just troubled, she was reportedly lost in a world warped by delusions, hallucinations, violent fantasies that blurred the line between thought and reality. And while the murder may seem senseless from the outside, from inside Claire's deteriorating psyche, it followed a dark and distorted logic. Police reports revealed that Claire confessed to harboring resentment toward her sister, particularly the attention her sister received due to her disabilities. But this wasn't simple jealousy. It was far more chilling. Claire expressed long-standing fantasies of violence. Fantasies that hinted at deep psychological instability, masked for years by normal behavior and typical teen angst. In court, the defense leaned heavily into this mental health narrative. Their argument wasn't about denial, it was about understanding. Claire wasn't evil, they argued, she was sick. She needed help, not punishment. But the legal system faced a dilemma that has only grown more urgent in the digital age. How do we handle young offenders who commit adult crimes? Should age be the deciding factor, or mental state? Despite her age, Claire was charged as an adult, a controversial decision that ignited national debate. She was committed for psychiatric evaluation, her trial postponed multiple times as the legal system tried to weigh justice against compassion, punishment against treatment. This case became a flashpoint at the intersection of adolescent psychology, family dynamics, and the curated illusions of social media. Because Claire didn't live in isolation, she lived online, in a world where personas can be perfected, and pain can be hidden behind filters and trending sounds. So we're left asking, was this a calculated, premeditated act of murder? Or a psychological aberration? In the digital age, our lives are no longer just lived in the physical world, they are projected through screens, curated and filtered to create a version of ourselves that we want the world to see. But for Claire Miller, TikTok wasn't just a tool of self-expression. It was both a mask and a mirror, two sides of the same coin. A mask, because it allowed her to craft an image of normalcy. A carefree teenager, laughing and joking through life, just like her peers. Her posts were filled with humor, lightheartedness, and the types of viral trends that millions of teenagers participate in. It was an identity that looked like anyone else's, an illusion designed to blend into the endless digital sea. But at the same time, TikTok was a mirror, a reflection of a mind slipping further into darkness. Beneath those videos, those smiling faces, was a hidden reality that only digital breadcrumbs could reveal. As investigators combed through her online presence, what they uncovered wasn't a premeditated plot. It was something more insidious, a message. A cry for help that no one heard in real time, but that echoed loudly in hindsight. Claire's digital trail didn't tell the whole story, but it gave a chilling glimpse of the turmoil she was experiencing. The themes of violence, her emotional detachment, and the constant struggle with her inner demons were all there, subtle yet potent signs of a mind unraveling. The videos themselves weren't confessions. They weren't cries of rage. But they were something just as powerful. They were clues. In today's world, even silence online speaks volumes. What we choose to share, and, just as significantly, what we choose to leave out, can say more than words ever could. Claire's silence, her masks of humor and normalcy, weren't just distractions, they were warnings. And TikTok, the very platform that gave her a stage to perform, ultimately became the unintended window into her fractured psyche. Now, I want to hear from you. After everything we've uncovered, what's your take on this case? Was Claire Miller a victim, trapped in the grip of her own mind, consumed by delusions and a spiraling mental state? Or was she a cold, calculating killer, hiding behind the veil of social media to mask her true intentions? This case challenges everything we think we know about juvenile crime, mental health, and the role technology plays in modern-day investigations. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive into the psychology behind this chilling story. And if you've been as captivated by how technology is reshaping crime, investigations, and even the way justice is served, then don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. We've got more deep dives coming your way, exploring the intersection of crime, psychology, and the digital world. The Claire Miller case isn't just another crime story, it's a mirror held up to our society, reflecting uncomfortable truths that many of us would rather avoid. It's a stark reminder that the digital age has fundamentally changed the way we see the world around us, and the people in it. In this society, children are living double lives. Online, they present curated versions of themselves, lives that seem carefree, untroubled, even happy. But behind the screens, mental health struggles often go unnoticed, cries for help drowned out by the noise of social media and the pressure to conform. Claire's case is a tragic example of just how far this disconnect can go. And then there's the chilling truth about how a single 60-second video, an innocent, seemingly harmless TikTok post, became the clue that cracked open a dark and twisted reality. What's supposed to be a platform for fun and entertainment, a way to connect with others, can easily become the stage for something much darker. This is the frightening new reality of true crime in the digital age, where the line between normal and abnormal is often blurred, where masks can be worn and discarded in an instant, and where the truth can be buried just beneath the surface. Sometimes, the scariest part isn't the crime itself, it's how normal it all looks online. If this story has left you questioning the intersection of technology, crime, and the minds behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to The Crime Keeper. We'll continue exploring the cases where crime, psychology, and technology collide, where the digital world and the real world collide in ways that leave us all wondering, how could we have missed it? Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay safe.